Hey everybody, Asher here, and we're doing some Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer. Specifically, as you can see, Final Fantasy Randomizer down on the bottom. This is from the beta client, which will be the live client soon eventually, maybe even by the time you're watching this. But today we're going to be doing a run that is involving two flag sets that I really like. One is Town Shuffle, and one is Entrance Shuffle. So we're not going to actually need to change the freaking title to this. Alright, because it is just Entrance Shuffle today. Floor Shuffles next week. Let's see here. These flags, if you are familiar with them or not familiar with them, this is from a invitational tournament that's going on right now. Next run of it for these is Monday the 11th, Veterans Day in America. But what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be doing a legit run, and hopefully that'll go okay. But we're also going to do kind of a teaching stream where I talk through everything. Oh yeah, no, you the coming Floor Shuffle. Hey Shadow Wisher, hope you're doing well. Well, like I said, I'm going to be doing a follow-up on this one with Floor Entrance Shuffle because the strategies there are a little bit different. Personally, I like Floor Entrance Shuffle. It does get a little formulaic, believe it or not, once you kind of crack the code. But you held your own pretty well last time on Entrance Shuffle, so I'm glad you're doing well with that. Hope you're doing good today. Let's see here. We're just going to go ahead and hit the new game button because there's some other features of the randomizer that you've probably seen, but if you're watching this on YouTube, maybe you haven't. So one of them is that we have forced classes. Hey, El Merkin, hope you're doing well. Let's see. It's the Floor Shuffle you hate. I understand that. So let's just go ahead and we'll name it for the people that popped in here. A very strong opener, in my opinion, with this where you only have two people to start on is with the red party here. There we go. Shadow Wisher. It just looks like Swish, but that's not what it is. And we'll go ahead and put Dingwu on here because that's fun. These are all people that run Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer. And we'll do Spells Up because I don't see anybody else in here right now. So sometimes I'll do silly names, but because we're here, we're doing this. So there's two forced people, there's two none. So we have Tavern mode that's on, which means I'll be able to recruit party members. And we'll get there when we get there. I'm going to go ahead and start the game, but we're not going to start the timer because this is where you begin on the world map. And if I can remember my hotkeys right, that's not the button. We're going to do map strats at the very beginning. So, Entrance Shuffle, as hopefully you can see my mouse cursor here. I believe it's set to do that. We have our opening place here. We have Canaria Castle, which is not necessarily going to be Canaria Castle. The only thing that is consistent in Floor Entrance Shuffle is that, or not Floor Entrance, I'm going to be messing that up all run. I'm very sorry. The only consistent thing in Entrance Shuffle is Canaria, but the towns are shuffled, so Lefane could be Provoca, and we may not be able to get there till Floater, which means level 2 magic may be gone for a long time. Matoi's Cave could be the freaking Mirage Tower, and Temple of Fiends could be Temple of Fiends, but it could be one of the Cardia Islands that has nothing in it. We don't know. There are some other things that are on that if you've played Final Fantasy Randomizer, you're familiar with, but if you're used to the vanilla game, you're probably not. Such as a land bridge to the Dwarf Cave, such as a dock outside the Ryokan Desert. So we'll have fun with that, but let's go ahead and kind of show you what we mean here as we go ahead and just start the timer. We have Titan's Tunnel on the west, and you'll see that I'm going to do two things here as we go through. I'm not going to do it quite yet because I kind of want to get up here first. I'll tell you also that I'm kind of making a wrong turn here. So I think that was Titan's West. It might have been Titan's East because the first thing I need to do, and El Merkin, one of my bad habits with this, is forgetting to check the tavern here. So we're going to buy a Dingwu, and Dingwu is going to be our thief. We're going to put him in the front because we want him to be able to try and run. I could buy two thieves right now, but I kind of want to get the experience filtered correctly early. Fade level 1 is amazing. We will want that later. I don't care about any of the other spells. Ice 3 level 1 is honestly pretty good, but I'm not going to pick it up because of Fade. Ice 3 is very good against water elementals. There's no really other spells to compete with this, but it's a good red mage start. If I'd started with the black mage, I might have actually rerolled here. We also have chain armor, which is really lucky, and pro rings, which are available in this town at the very beginning. I do really bad with remembering where the pro rings are. I could have bought an iron helmet, but I didn't, so we're just going to commit to this. And do we have any weapons that are worth my time? I don't always check this, but we will buy the knives. Yeah, things are definitely pricey. It's a little nice that we don't have like a bunch of stuff going on with the town and everything. Oh, we have tents that are free. Tents are really nice early. We have heals that are not too inexpensive. Softs are cheap, which is really nice. So my goal now, I know that Carnaria Castle's a bust. Sometimes it's a bunch of stuff where I can go check. I'm going to walk up to Temple of Fiends. My goal is to try not to get the credit roll by going over the bridge or the canal. Here's some imps early. We're not going to take this fight, but fortunately they don't start with thunder, which is the last thing I had. We have a mad pony who's going to ding ding perhaps. He's just going to dazzle dingwoo. Oh, dwarves. So this is 2 free treasure chests and a nuke helmet. Yeah, this is a seed all of a sudden. One thing that you may not realize, why is there a helmet with nuke on it? That's because item magic is shuffled. So with item magic being shuffled, we suddenly have spells that can land on anything instead of the heal helmet, which that was before. And it cast heal, now it's the nuke helmet, and it will cast nuke. We cannot use it outside of combat, just like there, but why would you want to nuke your party members anyway? Okay, we have some gold. You're going to see one of the things that I like to do is buy way too many save items. I'm going to buy some heals, but we don't know what the other towns are yet. But we do want to mark on our little handy-dandy map here that we have Dwarf Cave. Now, when I'm actually racing these, I'm not going to spend a lot of time flipping between areas here, but I also have this tracker up as well. We haven't gotten anything yet, but you're going to see me page between both of those here. And I really hope I saved. Alright, let's get on a boat. Let's check Matoy's Cave. We have no idea what's on the sea. I didn't power cycle into the sea, so that's extra fun. The encounter, by the way, this whole world works like a grid, so we're now out of the area of just imps, so we have a really long run. That's Bahamut's Cave. So we don't really care about that right now. We may not care about it at all, because Mazamune is incentivized. And I guess we'll learn real quick, did I save? I did, because we have the nuke helmet. Okay. Yeah, Shadow and Ale, I agree. This is about as free as you can hope for. I don't normally take this a hag fight, but I'm going to here just because we have the nuke helmet, and it's faster than failing a run, which means technically I should have the nuke helmet on Ale and not on Ding, because Dingwoo is going to want to be running. We want to think about what actions our people are taking. The reason I have Dingwoo in the front is also because that's supposed to increase our ambush chance. Okay, this is Melman, which is not terrible, because we can possibly get a nice little fight here from some experience, because these Zozo Melman is on, which if you played Final Fantasy 3/6, you know what that means. Exit is Red Wizard learnable. Nuke is going to be accessible along with Fast, so it's never fun when they share charges, but we can just reset out of there and go. We haven't talked to Dr. Un. I did not check to see if they had gold bracelets. There's no item shop, so we're looking for items here. Yeah, Ale, I agree. The seeds, we joke about calling them free because they have something advantageous early. But nuke early is no guarantee when you're only throwing... See, look, we got Brack early, so that's nice. So hags with Brack, suddenly sailing the high seas is a little more dangerous, especially when I don't have any safety softs. But that's a very timely point, Ale. We call it a free seed, but it's definitely not free. In Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer and on these flags, the scripts are shuffled, so the Sahags, which are supposed to be 6 HP pushovers, have Brack on them now, and potentially other skills behind them. Now we do have some pirates here. We will attempt to get a little bit of money and experience here, because these guys are valuable, and I really like their palette shuffle. I really should stop changing the names of things on my teaching streams, but we didn't. Right now we only have 3 party members, which is fine. There's no place to recruit here. We have Lefane, so we got to really leverage our early magic here. We have a Black Mage, which seems like Spell Zap should be the one here, so we'll buy him. Congratulations, we have a party of 4. Now, Marsh is incentivized as well, but we don't know if Marsh is Marsh. So I'm going to do something that may look a little strange to you. I'm not going to check those locations right now. Reason for that is that I'm going to go back here. I really want to get Ice 3. And this is one of the things you got to keep in mind. You don't have to do all your checks in order immediately. But now we have a Black Mage that can do the thing. We may as well buy the Iron Helmet while we're here. So even though Dengwu is our frontliner, we don't have to guarantee his survival. I should have bought more heals, but I didn't. We'll pay for that mistake later. So now I'm going to do something a little dumb, which you're going to hear me say that a lot. And that is we're going to go through the world here, accidentally run into this Sahag fight. One thing I need to be doing is listening to the music cues just to remember when I can actually reset. A nice thing about Black Mage 2 is that they are very good at running, especially at low levels. So it's a good early game insurance in case we don't get the run from here. So Dwarf Cave is Cardia Treasure. We're going to step on these skulls because they're bad luck. I will reset out of here if I get nothing worth my time. So far, nothing worth my time, nothing worth my time. So all you need to do here, we have Provoca, which is Melmond. I should be checking these off as I go. Dwarf Cave, I'm just going to check cleared because we don't have to, we're not going back there. So there's Lefane. Did I actually miss where the canal was? Ooh, I sailed way north. Now you can see, oh no, I'm missing the Dwarf Cave there, but we'll be back for it. We have Provoca. This is a very good early find, and we have enough money to potentially buy spells. Our class for sale here is the Black Belt, which is important to note in case this ends up being a seed where it's viable to run a Black Belt. We have Invis 2 and Ruse and Heal 3. Great magic, especially for the night. So you got to pay attention to 1 through 3 just to see what's there. And the magic here is nothing to write home about. So we are just literally going to soak up the white magic here. I like putting Heal 3 in the first slot because it makes it very easy to reach. And Ruse. Ruse is a very important spell. If you're familiar with the defense sword, it casts Ruse. 3 casts of those and only a critical hit's going to hit you. Alright, Melmond is Provoca. Let's go beat up some pirates for our first key item of the game. Another thing to keep in mind is that 12 items is what you need for the progressive scaling for 200%. I never feel great about nuking Provoca, but that's just what we're doing today. Alright, so with the entrance shuffle being a little different, we don't know what we have yet. But we do have level 5 Dingwu. I'm not like other people who just try to kill Dingwu. We have Oxiel, which is really important for the floor entrance shuffle, because Onrak Dungeon is a separate entrance. Oxiel is not necessarily required, but we could totally need it. We're not there yet. We don't know. But the Oxiel early is definitely a sign that things could be coming. Alright, so houses are expensive. That's unfortunate. We're just going to buy some cabins, because I have a bad habit of shopping way too much. Okay, garbage. Hey Bert, hope you're doing well. Duckling Seeds, hard time routing entrance shuffle. Well, Bert, this is great for you, because one of the things you got to do is just to understand it. In fact, let's go ahead and just take a quick pause break here. Not that pause button. Let's go and look at the map and just recap real quick. Mono got cookies, and we have all the locations up here. Did I not check Elfland Castle? That's a mistake, but we'll fix that mistake in just a little bit. So we have 3 locations here. Now, I've already done up here, I've done this check, I did this check, I stupidly skipped another check. I told you watch out for stupidity. So all I'm going to do here is these locations are, I could potentially floater to them later, but I don't know what they are. So we can go down here and just boat over here and check these 3 later. And maybe if we get the floater come over here. Right now we have not had a lot of dungeons to actually do anything with. So one of the things about, so let me just save one more time because I forgot if I saved. It's a time loss anyway. My goal technically on this flag set's an hour 35. That's probably not good enough to even place in the top 3 for the race, but that's just my goal with this kind of flag set is an hour 35. Oh, you won't let me run. That's your first mistake. Ice doesn't work too well on Undead for some reason, so we're just going to do this. But yeah, hope you're doing well today, Bert. Now, another little thing you can do, especially if you have an encounter table that benefits it, or even if you don't, is just, okay, we don't have to dive every single dungeon that you go into. We can just check here, say this is Cardia Treasure. Cool, we will check this because it's just 1 floor. 230 gold, so this is all kind of blasé. There's 2 loose items. I'm not going to keep that, even though 1,000 gold feels nice, but you just reset out of it. Titan's East is done. We got a bunch of Gerwolves today. Gonna put up the courtesy nuke, just in case they get nasty. Yeah, hunting is very important, and if you look back at that Halloween race that I did with the floor entrance shuffle, I think the only reason I caught crab cakes was that I just flew through entrances gambling that I was going to find something early that would get me the 4th Fiend, which I did. Earth Cave is our first Fiend dungeon. You can see these are color-coded. The Fiend dungeons are going to be yellow. And because there's no floor shuffle, we know that's there. And we don't have to worry about this place right now. None of it's required. Except for, apparently, these shadows. They're not good enough experience for me to fight them, so we just saved. Might as well reset. Oh, God. Oh, okay. Hyena Ogre being unrunnable is a bad sign. Everything's unrunnable. Let's power cycle. Because I think I had a pretty long run on the second part, but I don't remember for sure. Okay, you guys really want me to kill you then. Okay. If you insist. So, nuke him fast for level 5. We know that now. Because I screwed up before, and because I have level 2 magic, I'm not super stoked about trying to go all the way west without the canoe. Just to... Okay, this is bad. I should have saved. But I'm not super thrilled about going all the way over to the Crescent Lake location because there's a lot of duds it could be, or it could be Onrak. I don't know. I would rather check the areas on the mainland continent here. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And so far, the encounter table seems like there's a little bit of manipulation that's available. A little bit of manipulation that's available, but not a lot. And all it means when I say that is looking to see how many steps it takes before we get to a place and then resetting out. So we're back here, and we got an ogre and a creep. I have a bad history with creeps having bad things lately, but we're going to try and run out of this. Okay, we have Waterfall. Let's do Waterfall. We have Nuke, we have everything else. Sometimes you can cheese into a really fast opening here. The one downside is that we're pretty low level and we have no warp. But still, there's our dingbats. We can just reset, keep going. This is procedurally generated Waterfall, by the way. Which we have some bugs like this where we can just, ooh, walk in here. Leggy Starscream, are you watching this? Somebody can clip that for him. Sometimes you do run into that and you don't actually have to walk on the spike tile. So that is something that, if you're playing by yourself, yeah, have fun with it. If you're racing, please don't cheat. I do consider that sequence breaking. Okay, we nuke some birds. We do have poison music available, but I'd really like to keep Dingwu alive so it can run. I just want to see if we have a convenient entrance and exit here, and we do. Let's get that door bug going. So this means I technically should be able to walk out of this pretty fast. Oh, we can't run anyway. Cool. Nuke helmet, fade. Ice 3 is good here. So Elfland Castle's Waterfall. Let's mark it down. And sometimes it's just knowing about what skills you have, what abilities you have, what spells you have to determine if you can make this kind of push fast. So it's a slab. We do have Melman and Lefane available. So that is very important. In fact, so important that I need to actually change. We got a $3,000 house, which is also nice. So, a weapon. Alright. Lots of unrunnables today. Alright, so Waterfall gave a slab. See, we don't have a lot of key items yet. We need 12 to get through. The bridge and canal do count. So let's see if we can get out of here without nightmares obliterating me like they did in a race I had with Thunderclawed earlier. Oh, okay, we almost got dinged. Ding gets out. Entrance shuffle, do I search wide or dive deep? That's a pretty solid comparison. Okay, so we do need to come back to Elfland at some point. We may need to go to the Inner Sea, which is a little bit of a problem with me being parked on the wrong side here. That's one of those hidden time losses that you don't always appreciate. Hopefully these spiders don't have anything bad. Alright. So we're going to do the same thing here. Just drop a tent in the middle and see if we can walk our way to Northwest Castle. And Northwest Castle is more Cardia treasure, so we found all treasure rooms early. The reason I'm clearing these out, even though I'm not super excited about what I found so far, even a sleep gauntlet's not that great, because it's not a power gauntlet. I need my NPC guillotine on as well, is because we really don't have a lot of very exciting things. I will keep that money, though, because we haven't found the shop item yet, and they tend to get expensive. Especially when I have a habit of like, oh, let's just buy 310 stacks of houses. And Ale, I'm curious about your opinion on the sort of the dives that go through here, because I know we kind of do things a little bit differently. I have my own priority list of what I will check early. If it were vanilla Waterfall, that's a much longer run. I probably would not have done that check. But procedurally generated Waterfall tends to be shorter. So that's a check I'm fine with. Mirage Tower. We don't even need Mirage Tower. I could try and check those chests. I probably should have. So let's do Marsh is Mirage. Don't really care about all the time I'm bleeding, checking all these boxes. Let's see if we can just get out of here. So the other question that you have for yourself right now is, how excited am I to be translating the slab right now? Or do I take the slab bait and just try and do something with it later? We're going to do something that I call a really dumb move. And we're going to try the slab a little later. It could be the canoe. We have only found Volcano and Mirage as our dungeons so far. So I'm not super thrilled about really the prospects of turning all the way back around. I'd rather get some more map information. Especially because we haven't found Crescent Lake, which is our other free town. And we have a lot of money. We cannot get a canoe via shop, but you can get a vendor floater. So all I'm going to do here is try my best to come down here without saving, and if that works, I reset out. I tend to think of this kind of like just spreading my tendrils. I put a save spot in one location, and we'll just kind of cycle from there. So this is Crescent Lake, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Chime as well. So we have a shop chime. That's why you keep the money chest. Pro rings are in Canaria, and silver armor is decent. We'll take 2. For now, I'm pretty comfortable with this party. I don't think I need to worry about the classes, but I'll take a look because we do have level 2 Fade. White magic, not too great here. Yeah, so level 6 magic's a bust, which is fine. Yeah, getting the map info is paramount in my opinion, Ale. And for those of you who don't use Paramount all the time, it's not the movie studio. It's literally just getting more information, and I am old man blocked. Okay, this is going to be a 12 for 12. No, we got a rod. Okay, so 2 incentive locations here. Sage, rod, shop, chime. Now, once again, it's not, okay, let's go to sky, 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 because entrance shuffle is on. First off, we know where Mirage Tower the dungeon is. Chime is not always required, but good things can be hiding behind the Mirage Tower entrance, which you need this to get into. Yeah, you know what? Let's do the... Okay, I could be ridiculously dumb right now. Yeah, I agree with the chest density, especially with 2 loose. Like, I could have checked Volcano. I just don't have exit yet. I didn't actually check to see what class was for sale in Crescent Lake. I'm going to assume it's White Mage or Red Mage. But I'm going to go ahead and do the check for whatever this place is, just because I want to show the boat route. It's a lot faster if you sail west than if you sail east. My rule of thumb, and I learned this from running Chaos Rush all those months ago, is never go over the Cardia Islands unless you are checking the Cardia Islands or going to Temple of Fiends. I play these maps like a bunch of 4 corners. I will save here because this desert is too dangerous. There's a lot of enemies that can one-shot you here. Alright, and we found Matoyas. We don't really need Matoyas yet, but we found it. We found flame armor. Ooh, it's a really good weapon. Alright. And good armor. We'll keep the chain there. So if we end up needing the crystal turn, in which we might not, we know that we have Old Blind Witch there. And red ankylos are unrunnable. Red ankylos, famous for being terrible experience and terrible at just beating your face. You got an ambush here, so that's Dingwu paying off. Don't kill Dang. Save all the Dingwus. There's Lefane that we cannot get to. And whatever the Mirage Desert's called, that's one of your open progression docks that are not in the vanilla game. But all I do from here is just sail north, and this is going to take us to Crescent Lake for not much more time anyway. I should really be saving and power cycling through here. Because once again, if we look back at our entrances here, We have Matoys is up here. We don't really have a lot of entrances yet. Okay. And sometimes you can only dive a few certain things. And I just said I should have saved and I didn't save. But the best thing you can do, Bert, is just to try and narrow down your map as fast as possible. Now, it's entirely possible, even likely, I'd say at this point, that the floater or the canoe is locked behind the slab turn-in, since we have both of those, but it could just as easily be like the opal bracelet. So right now, I'd rather get map info. Plus, one of my favorite new player things that I still do is looking for solid encounters here. This is a solid enough encounter. Not great, but it's a what we call a popcorn encounter. It's nine enemies. Even though we don't have the progressive scaling up yet, it's still going to give us extra bonus experience because there's 9 of them, and Ice 3 is showing me these are some chunky boys today. Alright. So see, we're level 9 all around. I will save here, just because this gets us quickly back to the boat. Alright. Okay, Elfland, that's fine. Black Magic. Pretty good. Brack is nice for taking out Fiends, although the Fiends are not clamped this week, unlike next week. Which, like I said, that's a separate video. Cure, oh man, Life 2 is White Wizard locked. Dingwu might be putting on some robes here in a minute, because right now we have no life access. And one of the nice things about whatever this mode is called is that we can really bail ourselves out of bad class choices just by having some stuff available. So there's the second Black Mage. With 7 towns being open due to Lefanish hospitality, there's always going to be one that has a double, which means that lack of check in Crescent Lake is fairly significant. Let's buy some more heals. I smell a dungeon dive coming. Also, I meant to show you all another dock that I should have done, but I didn't do. So we'll fix the miss route here in just a minute. White magic not very good, so I think Dingwu is going to serve us better at the end game as a white mage instead of a thief, which is fine. Now, I don't want you to pay too much attention to my splits down on the bottom. We will take the EX Peds, as they're called here. They're called Peds in the game. Yeah, Bert, and you did miss the beginning where the first Canaria was thieves. I only bought 1 thief. There's a school of thought that says I should have bought 2, just because it makes it a lot easier to run. But the other side of it, at least from my perspective, is that it lets me funnel experience to 3 party members a little more easily. But right now, what I'm doing with Dingwu is he's still alive. He's going to be banking levels that when I get a white mage eventually, and it looks like the white mage is either floater locked or in Crescent Lake, which I didn't check, like a dumbass. I should watch my language, like a dumb donkey. Probably can't say that either. Anyway, we are going to be... Let me just pull up the map again. Because there is one dock that people forget about, and it would have been a much better play had I done it earlier. When I came out of here, what I should have done was sail south to this dock next to Provoca, go ahead and translate the slab, because then that way I could just sail up here, go to Crescent, and then move myself around here. Can I 2 or 3 man these flags? Absolutely. In fact, there are some runners that really like the 2 or 3 man. El Merkin likes the 3-man strats. Caleb does a lot of 2-man strats. I am more of the 4-person party kind of runner for whatever reason. Honestly, I'll probably be dropping to 3 party members eventually, but experience is still pretty fine here, so I'm not too concerned right now. But it's really going to boil down to if we get a floater here. But yeah, lots of people forget about this dock. This is near the Peninsula Power, which they should know. More mad ponies. And I'm going to break my own rule here in a minute, so you all can laugh at me for that. Let's visit what Dr. Un has to say today. I don't know if we have level 4 spell charges yet. Do we have? Nope. No gold bracelet yet, so gold bracelet's floater locked. I'm guessing in Gaia. Warp charges, we do has. Okay. So remember when I said never sail or fly to the Cardia Islands unless you're going to Temple of Fiends? There is one exception to that rule, and that is when you are going from the Onrak or this dock, the Onrak dock, or the Mirage Tower dock, and going to Elfland. Because that time it is faster just to go through the middle of the map. Like if we pull up the map again, I could go... I want to go to Elfland, because Elfland is Lefane. I could go all the way around here and go around. I could go all the way around here and go around. We're going to go through here and up and through. Is it faster? I think so. Is it significantly faster? Not really, but it would have looked a lot better if I'd remembered to translate the slab the first time. But yeah, sailing, knowing how to move around the overworld will save you so much time, and you do not realize it until you just suddenly say, okay, this is clicking, I know what I'm doing. We don't even have a very good encounter table to mess with today. One thing to watch out for is that we do have a peninsula for ordeals right here. So you don't want to accidentally sail into that cove. So you just got to watch and make sure you go left. Now, fortunately, you can route a lot of the stuff just kind of like a meridian, as of course we're going to get stoned all to hell by these guys. We didn't even buy our safety softs, so that's a problem. Let's reset. That's my mistake. I should have bought safety softs the second time I was in Carnaria. I always buy one, except for today. Okay, so now we went a little too far west, but that's okay. So you get the sailing right the first time and things go great. You have to reset and suddenly you forget where you are. Alright. So there's Castle Ordeals. My point before was that Ordeals is pretty much on the same longitude or latitude. I always forget which one's the up and down. But pretty much Ordeals go to the north and you hit the Elfland dock. Pretty much straight away. It's a good way to remember any of this. Okay. So chances are this takes us to the Dwarf Cave. We don't know for sure yet. I could also check the magic here, but I'm not really interested in what level 8 magic is. I have fast access. I haven't seen Temper yet. There's our floater. So I gambled on the floater not coming from the chime turn-in, or not the chime turn-in, from the slab, and I was wrong. But at least this means we're going to be able to get through here. Tyrannex, you don't fear the shuffle. The shuffle fears you. Come on. Now, we could do the great Asher play and just forget that extended open progression is on and forget that this dock is here. That's how I win races, but we're going to turn it in. Because now we have, suddenly the world's open to us, which means we get what I would call as a newer player, analysis paralysis. We've gone from nothing is open to everything is open except for Waterfall and Ordeals, which are canoe blocked. So what do? A lot of people jump straight to the Cardia Isles. I disagree. Because if you're just going to go all the way to here, or all the way to here and go back down, you're skipping Volcano, which is right here, Ice, which is right here, Easy to Fly at East, go to Titans West, and Sarda. And then you've taken out every single location in the southern continent and can just focus on the north. I know there's this juicy Gaia location right here, which is either Onrak or Gaia. But we don't have to do that yet. Alright, so map strats. Let's get the lower continent out of the way. The biggest thing, Bert, I'll say, is that you just need a system. Oh, Titans East. Oh, and an encounter! Oh my god, these are going to be like Nuke Tigers or something. This is the danger step. This is why you save when you... Oh god, and Volcano sends you out the wrong way too. This is why safety saves save lives. They really do. Okay, so that was Titans East, so screw Volcano. This is Canaria Castle. We'll see what the king gives us. For those of you that do not know, you can fight the king, Opal Bracelet, which is nice, but we don't need it yet. And now, if we look right over here, we have our little kidney bean. If you go out, or like, if you go out the digestive tract up here and sail east, this takes you straight to Sarda. If you sail south from Sarda, it gets you to the Ryakan Desert Vendor. So, Sarda's Cave is the Temple of Fiends, which means we did this incorrectly, but not a big deal. Nice thing about these flags too is that the Temple of Fiends is loaded with gear because improved trap treasure's on, and there are 2 treasure chests that fall into that here in one of the easiest dungeons in the game. So money, we don't really need money now. And let's see, we've got up here, short sword. Okay, no money, so just reset out. Let's knock Garland down after we reset one more time. Yeah, if you can abuse the reset button, just do it. And I don't even know, this isn't that one race that I had where Garland had over 300 HP. I could have totally quad X'd him. Turns out Fade rolled high enough. I should be warping out of here, but I didn't. So there's a Garland dead. Sarda! We will warp out of here. Yeah, resetting for steps is good. Resetting to make through here. Ruby's not required, but we are going to keep it because it does go towards the key item count. Got to keep in mind that we do not have stuff here. So now we're done with Sarda. We do not need to check the desert vendor. So all we're going to do is we've done everything on the southern continent. Now we go to the Cardia Isles. This town, once again, looks very tempting, but so far we have not hit any whammies with the, when I say whammies, I just mean dead locations. So I forgot to actually mark that Sarda's Cave was Sarda's Cave, and I'm just going to click Done, because we're done with Sarda. So that's Ice Cave. Ice Cave is an incentive location. So it's Cardia Grassy, because not Degrassy, just regular Grassy. And then we're going to do the same kind of strategy we do here before. Just save once. I'm going to run into one encounter here at some point. Sea Shrine on the south. And then there's our first whammy. So top is nothing, bottom is Sea Shrine. And everyone does this their own way. I use a web tracker, which is technically slower than just handwriting it. These Sphinxes are not good enough for me to try and take, but if I hold on to this experience, cool. I'll hold on to it. Alright. FF1 special. And Marsh Cave. Now, I know we have all kinds of excitement with... if I can find where the Marsh Cave is. There we go. We have all kinds of excitement with places that we are exploring. But I'm going to spend 3,000 gold on a house, and we are going to go dive Marsh. Because we are here. Marsh is easy. I mean, especially with Nuke, famous last words, because it's Marsh. And you have some of the nasty enemy packs. I'm going to do the non-meta play and check the north side first because we have Warp. And of course, we also have Unrunnable Shadows that actually stun touched the one person I tried to have cast something. So that's annoying. The reason I used a house as well was because Spellzap had used both of his warp charges. So even if we were just planning on resetting out of this or having... this is just insurance because I still haven't bought soft potions. And something could very well stone me here. So we're walking on the bottom here. For those of you who don't know, don't remember watching on YouTube, I cannot get encounters here. Not on the bottom floor here. I've randomly gotten one encounter in front of the door in one of the Temple of Fiends rooms, which is weird, but I didn't report it, so I guess it doesn't really matter. We're gonna get batted. Yes, here's the bat block. NPC guillotine standard win. Alright. The reason I'm throwing out a safety nuke here is just because it's faster to nuke those guys than fail a run. And we found nothing, so what do? We reset. Alright, so the Marsh Cave, for once appearing on the Swampy Island, just makes sense. Canaria Locked is incentivized. Why am I not talking to the princess yet? That is an excellent question, Bert. And the reason I am not talking to the princess yet is because I am just already here checking islands, exploring, and there is definitely a logic that says only come to Marsh Cave when you have the key to check Marsh Locked. I guess I could put on my good player hat and say, oh, I'm going to make the gamble that Marsh Locked is not one of the loose items, and if I lose it, then haha, I just lose the race. But truth be told, it's a misplay. It's not as efficient here. But am I going to bet that the princess has the key? Not really. I'm already here. I can get Marsh done. The rest of these checks should be sufficient. I'm not really looking for a spike tile right now. I haven't found a very good one yet, anyway. But I'm not in a position where I need to worry about grinding. Plus, there's a lot of tiles I can check in places like, Volcano? I haven't found Earth Cave yet. I almost said Earth Cave. But no, that's a great question, Bert. You do want to have the key here if you can. In fact, one of the rejected async seeds that I had tested but didn't put live did have both loose items here. One of them was in Marsh locked, but you had to get the vendor key early. So that was kind of boring to have everything just in Marsh. So I ditched that seed. TNT. Okay, so all paths lead to Dwarf Cave eventually. And we will mark that on the tracker in just a minute. Fortunately, it's experience. We don't know if it's going to be progression yet. So there's Cloth. And now we're going to hope that Bird has not blessed our run by saying, hey, wait, why didn't you get the key from the princess? Because that sounds like the kind of thing that would school me on the stream where I'm trying to school other people. Alright. So right here, you know, it's really interesting. I guess the beta client has some kind of fix where Cardia Tiny, or a lot of these islands are just going to be pushed out right away. Oh no. This is what I was afraid of. Bad turn order 2. Oh, but they're quad-exable. Not so bad. Whoop, let's just do a lap around the entrance. We got ordeals. We're not going to do ordeals just yet because I don't have any I don't have any way to do that with warps. So where was the castle? You know, I'm not going to check the towns yet. I got to remember where the castle is. It was, did I not mark that down? If I didn't mark it down, then it's probably ice. Let's see. Thanks, Elmerkin, for the save. Yeah, that's one thing you run into with trying to take your notes is actually reading them in a race setting. So the princess has bottle. I guess that means we need to check our islands yet. Unfortunately, I don't have warp charges. So this is another one of those hidden time losses. You don't have warp charges. This is 7 seconds that I'm giving up. Those are the kind of things that add up in a race over time. But the nice thing is that having the bottle before checking Gaia means I don't have to do it twice. Of course, if there's magic I really want in Gaia, that's a different story. But this could be on rack. We don't know. It's Gaia. Okay. Fly, fairy, fly. What's in our black magic? Fire 3. What's in our white magic? Wall is not red wizard learnable. What's in our N? Scones. Armor shot because we still haven't found the gold bracelet. Here it is, and it's kind of expensive. You don't have a shield. Might as well buy one. Really? Did I just... Okay. Inventory management is something I've gotten sloppy with lately and I need to fix. Silver shield is still meaningful. I should probably equip that opal bracelet on the one dude that's in the front line. However, I'm probably about to change Dingwu over to a white mage, assuming it's here. The reason I didn't check the weapon shop is because... Oh, God. Well, let's get some pures anyway. The reason I didn't check the weapon shop was because we have a better weapon. Oh, it's a red mage. So that means white mage is in Onrak or white mage is in Crescent. Which we got to go check Waterfall again potentially anyway. Crown. We haven't found Northwest Castle yet, so that's exciting. Let's go ahead and mark on our notes here. So we got the bottle, which turned into the crown. Bottle was from Marsh. We talked to Garland, King, Sarah. Gave us the TNT. We have the rod, TNT, floater, chime. Did I mark Oxiel? I did. We didn't mark the floater, which is dumb. Alright. We have the ship, which is for free. Alright. Yeah, I think that's everything. Unless it's not, and then y'all can laugh at me. Yeah, Bert, I saw that time difference. That was very, very exciting, and the kind of thing where you look back and say, I'm happy I finished here. How could have I spared a few seconds? But yeah, that's the exact kind of thing. Even when I finished a minute behind Edgeworth, it wasn't just the big mistake I made. There are plenty of things that I did that I could have had things go a lot better. Okay, so here is our on-rack location. So I don't think we're going to need this too much here, but we're just going to put Guy as Guy, Lefane as Onrak. And we do have heals in a house. Let's buy 2 houses. And hopefully we can dang into a white mage. Yes, there we go. The reason I'm doing this is because I really want life access. Alright. This does mean that we need to buy some spells. Cure 4! Cure 4 is Red Wizard learnable. That's really exciting. And Lock 2, so we can come back here and get those later. Could technically get them now. I have the money for it. Alright, Elf, do we have the herb? No, that's annoying. Alright, well, this is, it's possibly required. So we'll be back here at some point, but since I have a little bit of cash, let's go ahead and buy Cure 4 for our lovely Dingwu. Everybody wants to kill off Dingwu, and I don't know why. He's a perfectly nice person. He just likes to quake things. Alright. Back up we go. This is one of Spellzap's favorite corridors to try and get some levels, so... at this point, I should really be giving the Nuke Helm to our good buddy Spellzap, and I shouldn't be casting Ice 3 on the Frost Wolves like a moron. But once again, 42 minutes, I'm in the air, I've explored most of the world. We haven't checked Ordeals, we haven't checked Waterfall. We have checked Crescent Lake. Crescent Lake was Elfland, I'm pretty sure. So we didn't do the thing that I said we would do, which is pass these things over. Honestly, Spellzap is not carrying a lot of weight with his sweeper spells right now, but Ice 3 is good enough. Alright. Okay. So that's the Thor Gauntlet. Can't use that until you're promoted. But yeah, this is one of Spellzap's favorite corridors to get early levels. It's one of the few places he'll take overworld fights. So we got Dwarf Cave at the Temple of Fiends. And we don't have too much else to turn in right now. So hopefully this is just a big old chain. And we got the Opal Bracelet from the King. I did not mark that down. But we still have 2 loose available and a lot of things left to check. So there's a Mazmune. So pretty much all of our troubles are done. Except for the fact that we need progression. Oh yeah, we don't have a key. Yeah, Bert, that would be a viable strategy, the 2-man, the fighter white mage with the Nuke Helm. If anything, right now, I'm looking at going a 3-man and just killing off my, no offense, but killing off Spellzap. He'll be good for Fade and Fast charges, but, or not Fade and Fast, but level 5 Fast, but we're not really getting a lot of mileage right now out of that slot. Fortunately, softs are super cheap. Okay, so we don't have Tail. This is Elfland, but you can see we've made a pretty good map of the world. But we need Canoe, and unfortunately, it seems like Canoe's loose. So let's go to Provoka real quick, because there is some really good white magic there. I believe Provoka was Melmond. Okay, I almost accidentally hired a black belt. Now, one thing you got to watch out for with this type of shuffle with, or not shuffle, but tavern mode, is that you can accidentally erase your character, and then you have to go back and buy all the spells again. It's a little annoying. But you know what? Before we even start diving dungeons, I have Ordeals and Ice Cave I haven't done yet. So let's do those. I'm just sitting here like trying to justify going to Volcano early. You don't gotta worry about that. So if Spellzap dies or gets stoned, he dies or gets stoned. We want his warp charges now though, so you live for the time being. Alright, so down. Oh, good first strike. Down, down. It's a little easier with warp, but we're going to do it this way anyway. Ooh. So down, down. Nope. Ooh, so this is down, down, 4. This is a nasty one. This is really good that I got warp from Elfland beforehand. Because we're going to have one temp portal at the end that could be happiness or misery. And Mancats, we can't run from him because we don't have Dangwoo. He put on a robe and suddenly he can't run. What is going on there? Spell Zap can get punched out though. Aelmerkin surviving, 3 hits, 3 damage. Okay, up or down? Oh! Alright, so I'm going to type it in chat here. Down, down, 4 down. You'll always want to make a note somewhere, because if you wipe in ordeals, and it's in ordeals like this, you really don't want to forget if you have to redive. And we have a very, very spicy grind tile. So, this is our plan. It's a good plan. You're going to punch. We're going to put Spell Zap in the front, and we're going to park here for a minute. I am just short on the items here, which stinks a little bit. Unless TNT turned into something, but I'm pretty sure it was a Masamune. But yeah, this is... With the Fighter and the Masamune, you don't need to grind very much. But we can do it just a little bit. And with the Nuke Helm, we don't really have to worry about our resources very much. So this will give Spell Zap all the levels he needs. And this is what I did a bad job of in the race last week, is that I didn't do a good job taking what the seed gave me. And what the seed gave me before was some really good on-pace grinds that I did a little bit of. But I had committed a little too hard in my brain to Black Belt strats when I didn't need to. So level 15, we're starting to encroach on... oh, they're Poison Touch too. Hit Spell Zap, thank you. Okay, that's all I wanted. So... this will be good enough experience. We may take one more fight, but we don't have our bonus experience yet, which is a little annoying. But Ael's level 17. That's going to make a lot of dungeons easier. The reason that I'm doing this more than anything else is that I want to find grinds so that I can be sufficient level to take on the war mech that's required later in this seed. Otherwise, I would say that I'm stopping here and parking for way too long. Alright. One more with feeling. Ael, if you don't mind me asking, like, do you think I'm doing okay with, because I have airship, just to go ahead and stop and take this grind? Because so far we haven't had a chance to check any of the key locked here. I'm going to put Shadow Wisher ahead of Dingwu, or behind Dingwu, just because I am so used to having my Black Magic Caster on the 4th slot. So that's what we're doing here. So I'm level 18. The key point that you want for your Mazza user is to have him at level 24 eventually. But we still haven't found any loose items yet, which is a little scary. There's 2 loose, and we found Opal. We haven't found any ribbons, so it's possible ribbons loose. Yeah, it's very likely we're going to need both for progression. We have cubes, so we can do Mirage Tower now. We got Opal from somewhere. We got Mazza from somewhere. And let's check this tile. Oh, it's another spicy one. Alright. And we got turn order. So I've gone from being a little bit behind on the 8-ball for levels to being super ahead. This will make diving dungeons a lot easier. The counter argument to that is you should just take levels as you go. And I'm very much of that school of thought. But we're playing it a little safe today. Sometimes you just got to go with your gut and say, I want to be safe today. Especially when we have Ice Cave right here. So Ice is notorious for a lot of things, and since we're going to have unrunnable shadows and other undead, who knows what's going to happen here. Oh, fun. So, we all know Ice Cave is notorious for being dangerous, but is it so in the randomizer? The answer is it can be really annoying because you have packs of enemies that can appear up to 4 different types of enemies all at once. I apologize for that. So that's the danger of ice. We don't have things like Death Touch sorcerers that we know of, but we do have lots of little annoyances like this. We'll do the Nuke Helm just because a failed run sucks. And we don't have a Thief anymore. Of course, we're going to get the FF1 or Special. So we'll get the run. Oh, yep, we got the run and we had one enemy left up. I'm going to use a Warp Charge here. I did not pick up Exit, which is a little silly of me, but we're just going to try and run out of here because we don't need the levels. And El Merkin is really our best runner at this point, but apparently Dengwu just wants to nuke all the things. I know using thermal nuclear weapons in a cave made of ice is probably a bad idea. So Shadow Wisher with the FF1R Special. I should have a counter for that today. Warp Trick, for those of you that do not know, can use one of those Warp Charges, come back up here, get the Dragon Armor. There's our crystal. So we can totally fly back up there now. And this is a decent tile, but we're going to try and run from it. And we did. If for some reason this one's too dangerous, I can warp out of it. Oh, it's Karibs, and we got the ambush. I have a bad relationship with Karibs having nasty things too. Stop Axe is not very exciting. Karib Gator's a little worse. With heat on top of that. And we didn't pick up any life spells. So this could be disastrous. It was not. So this is why I put heal 3 in the first slot. Really fast menuing. Try not to put exit or warp in the first slot, and I do have to keep in mind that warp is in the first slot for me right now. So we have Crown to turn in. Crown is canoe locked from the looks of it. Alright. We'll fade here. So I got some questions in chat. The thing that's important to consider, will it save time to get a spell like warp, or will it save time just walking out of the dungeon? 9 times out of 9, I will want at least warp just so I don't have to re-walk through the dungeon. Especially because some of the encounters in ice can be really annoying because they're enemies you don't see anywhere else, so you don't know where the script lies on them. And thanks, Ale, for clocking my time here. I'm just hoping for a smooth Temple of Fiends. We have a lot of nukes and stuff available. Okay, Ale saying the story of week 3 flags is to hit 12 key items ASAP. What was that? Iron Helmet, okay. And try and go from there. I don't think that's a bad rule of thumb. To try and get to the experience thing. But if you have something good pop up like it did for me, even if you aren't on the experience bonus yet, it's faster just to do it than to come back later. But yeah, you want to try and get your experience as fast as possible. Of course, with the overworlding being shuffled, it's not always going to cooperate. Like, we are going to have to go back down to whatever the Lefane location is to get some spells. So, we got a cube, we got Mirage open. We got Matoya's that was in Mirage. We don't have a tail yet. It could be a tail. I wouldn't mind promoting. Ruse on the Night is not as important now, though. Yeah, if there's a good grind at the Hall of Giants, yeah, that's true. Oh, fun. And they're runnable. Save me, Dangwo. We'll get some Poison Sounds for now, so you all can get out your earplugs. Okay, it's a ribbon. Pyrrhic victory, but a victory nonetheless. I say Pyrrhic victory because I want progression and not ribbons. But having one ribbon is generally good enough. You can see I have one house and one tent. That's intentional. It's really easy to manipulate your stuff if you end up having... Let's see here. Elfland's down here, and Elfland is locked. Let's go and get this then. Because that way I'll have life, and then we can just carry on with our day. And this is where I should pull up the other thing and say, is this... This is Onrak. We don't want to be here. Elfland. Elfland's Crescent Lake. 'Cause 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 So we're going to dig for a canoe. Question becomes, do we go sky first or do we go volcano first? Because it's more likely for me to actually be able to kill the boss at the end of a volcano, we'll do volcano. Sky's not bad because we do have fast access. The problem is that fast access is promotion locked. So make do with what we got. So Earth Cave is volcano. We have warp access. Can't do ordeals or waterfall. And we know that one of them is a crown turn in. And there's a lot of things we need. Oh yeah, volcano time. Oh, you know, since it's the Earth Cave location, I always think of this as like, I guess, I don't remember what the overworld name is for Super Mario World, but I always think of it as like, look, it's a big chocolate mountain. Yeah, always sky. I like a way, I think it was Wout that put it. The thing for sky is people will say it's always sky unless you're the one running the seed, and then it's never sky. That's the joke for me. Well, we do have lock access. We don't need no sleep gauntlet. We don't have a tail either, and it's still possible tail's loose. What's this tile? Oh, what do you know? A really good grind. So we ended up taking the rock goal, so we're not really going to bother with this too much, but if you get a pack of Gurmadeuses, this is one of the best party grinds in the game. Harm 4 shirt, Sun Sword. I will actually keep that Harm 4 shirt because it might actually, if I can remember what treasure chest it's in, because it could end up being the best armor for our good friend the White Mage, and then we can just pass it along. So far we've got just a few levels, not too much else. I'll just go ahead. I don't always do this, but since we're full clearing anyway, there's the other armor shirt. So there are two options for what you can do here. One of them is to just go ahead and exit out of here and come back later. And that's not a bad call. But I'm going to go ahead and do the other option, which is just go ahead, loop around, clear this whole floor. This is a little bit slower because you do there's much higher chest density later in the dungeon, but we're just going to... Oh, the Mucks have fast and blizzard. Okay, we got to hit this run now. We got the run. Yay. I don't know if I bought any houses outside, but that might be a good idea to use one. Okay, no need for EX beads anymore. Yeah, Ale, the alternative strategy, though, and my preferred strategy, I'm just doing this mainly to show how to walk around Volcano, is do the whole Volcano first, and then when you're done with Volcano, enter back in and check these 3 chests. Because there's a lot more chests to check when it is Volcano. I don't need this experience anymore, so we're just going to courtesy nuke them and see if we can get away. Oh, Zap Staff. That's not awful. We do have 2 houses, so... Yeah, my problem, Ale, with races is that sometimes I'll get excited and just forget to recheck Volcano. It's like, I don't get nervous hardly anymore, but I do kind of get ahead of myself sometimes. But you see, we have all this map available. We have all the knowledge to us. We're an hour in and we haven't killed a fiend, which feels a little bad, but once we can start go-moding, then things are going to get a lot better. One important thing to note is that Ordeals or Waterfall can only be one of 2 locations at this point. One of them is going to be Earth Cave, and one of them is going to be Northwest Castle. Also note that I have the crown, and I totally forgot to go turn in the crown. And oh wait, no, that's the herb. Never mind. I haven't found Northwest Castle. I was gonna say I didn't go back to Elfland Castle to turn in the herb. Yeah, Ale, that's true too. And the mermaids, the whole split on sea is something that's really easy for a newer player to screw up. Hey, look, I bought softs. The iguanas with the glare today. Let's just go ahead and take this out. And get the run now, please. No, we don't get the run. Nice. This is what we call a time loss. Feels bad, man. Now, we could two-man it with the red mage and the white mage, but I am not hurting for levels at this point. So we're just going to walk through the molten chocolate. Isn't it delicious? I do not have the damage tile flicker turned on, because I don't like it. But that's why you don't see it, because there is a flag that lets you turn it off. Alright. Money. The other reason that I like full clearing of Volcano first is that it's not significantly slower than just doing Volcano. Like, there's a few little places to turn around, but there's so many tiles where you can skip encounters. It does not take very long. Another stop axe, kind of annoying. What was this tile again? Oh, it's Gurmedusas. And they're unrunnable, so I guess we'll fight them. Carrying the chocolate factory, that's pretty good. So that means we're going to get shot out of an elevator at the end, right? Yeah, this is one of those cases where my levels are just a little too high. But I'm not really stressed about it. You see what I did there? If you can correctly delete items, you can control where the items are going to be going into your inventory. That's all I did there. Just a simple trick that saves a little bit of time, but if you do it right over the course of a run, it can add up to a few seconds, which, as Burt Reynolds has pointed out already in chat, a few seconds is all you need to make the difference between placing in one position or another. There's a loose adamant. Alright. Now we know that's going to lead to progression because we found the opal, ribbon, and Mazamune. So I did say before my goal was an hour 35, but when you have late loose items like this, some of those bets are off. Fortunately, I did choose correctly for the first Fiend dungeon to go into. Oh, it could be Tail. Tail's not terrible, because it gives our knight ruse. Okay, I'm going to do something to try and placate Will Cleosis, who I haven't seen in a while. One of the things that he harps on people about more than anything else when he's calling runs is this play here. Now, not specifically this play. We are going to be Team Butter on these lobsters all day. So you have two tiles here. And these two tiles are, one's the Red Dragon, one's the Agama, and you could potentially have to walk over them twice. You want to save time and not incur the wrath of any broadcasters / self. You can go ahead, run from these Caribs. We'll nuke them for fun. Yeah, you got the Mazza, and I got the nothing. Well, then again, I was trying to go punchy strats, but it was the one Volcano chest I didn't check. And it would have made things a little faster. Alright. Alright. Oh, I don't even need the opal armor. I have the dragon armor. So if we promote it, yeah. Instead of walking that back out, just warp, and then run through some more chocolate, and hopefully not get destroyed by Wiz Ogres. Or Georges. Tell me about the rabbits, Lenny! I don't do a good Lenny. I don't do a good George. I did not expect to like Of Mice and Men as much as I did when I read it. We don't have fast. That feels a little bad. And Carrie's not hitting through my armor very hard. Dead. Like I said, don't worry too much about the split there. First off, I'm taking my time teaching. Second is that we have some worse loose items available. And third, quite frankly, is that I'm not in a race, so if I'm not... I found one loose item so far. It could be progression, it might not. I think this is Dwarves. It's Dwarves. We still need the key and the loot. There's the key. So while we're here, this opens up this, and we have Cardia locked open, which means we might go ahead and do C. C is our next chest density place. Oh, I already gave you TNT, and you gave me a sword, you moron. Okay, that's a okay axe. Oop, wrong armor. Okay, so this key locked is a bust. Alright, so... what did Adamant give us? It gave us Key. If we go back to our map, we do need to go to Cardia Castle, which is Ice Cave. Yeah, well, we gotta raid Cardia because there's a freaking key item in the armory. So now that we have Key, we can do that, and we're just gonna hope Spring Eternal and say that Marsh Locked is not where the other loose progression is, or it's Loose Tail. But hopefully they're keeping a tiny boat here, because we're running out of places to check. And I'd rather not full clear sky and sea. Good, it's a tiny boat. And a katana that we don't need, so... Alright, so we got the canoe from Canaria locked. Let's check ordeals first, because we're kind of in the neighborhood. We'll check ordeals, we'll check Waterfall, we'll take an opportunity to go back by Crescent. Hopefully, it's weird saying this, but I kind of hope Tails in here. If only because that means that I can go ahead and promote. I'm not going to have a lot of spell charges for my knight, but I would appreciate the extra spell charges on my other casters, especially poor dead Spell Zap, who would love to learn fast, but is unfortunately dead. Hydras with fire, that makes a strange amount of sense. Alright, once again, this is one of two things. It's Earth Cave, or it's Earth Cave. Okay, that's why we didn't save. Now, Earth could have a loose loot or something in it. We don't know that yet. We'll know a lot more once we see what Northwest Castle turns into. Okay, we're going to do the dumb play and not save. Who's with me? Alright. Oh, the one place that does not sell save items. Nice. And while we're here, this was a fighter. We don't need another fighter. But now we don't really fear the entrance shuffle as much, just because we've gotten kind of a good sense of where everything is, and by process of elimination, we know this has to be Northwest Castle, or we know Asher's about to embarrass himself on stream. Both are fine. We could just run a little bit. There we go. Yay! Hello, Batkeeper. Oh, good. Herb. Well, we want to go back to Onrak anyway, so... Alright. So, Crown turns into Herb, and suddenly we're skipping a step here. I'm going to check these 3 chests. I'm not going to check the tiles because my levels are too high. That's okay. It's worth a shot. Alright, so our kindly prince is in the Onrak dungeon. For some reason, the elves decided to build a castle under the sea. I guess their kingdom is Ashara. And if you don't get that reference, then that's okay. So, we go west. We do not fly east ever to go to the Gaia location. Always west. It's all about knowing how to move around the world. It's all about knowing how to check your damn map and say, oh wait, it's not the Gaia location. It's the Lefane location. Well, Onrak should sell save items anyway. And this is where, the way I've been practicing this flag set is not having the little item tracker on here. The reason that I'm using it today is just because it makes it easier for you all watching on YouTube or at home that maybe are not as familiar with this, understand what the hell's going on. So we do have Ruby. So this is going to turn into tail or loot. I really, really hope it is loot, because I just want to go ahead and punch this out. The thing is that tail will give us better armor. Loot just lets us play. Look at Asher buying 10 houses again like a dummy. The one sad part is that I still haven't been able to buy the spells that I want to up there. And I really am not a fan of triple diving this. And I do need to check the armory here. Yeah, exactly. It's like if it's tail, it's loot. So we can just play the damn game. I don't need to do this check, but I'm going to do it anyway. I have all the items I need. It could be a second ribbon, though. Other ribbons are probably locked behind our fancy, happy little, what do you call it? That flag that says you have trap treasure that is better, spike tile treasure that's better. Alright. So, Spellzap's dead. We may want to bring him back up in a little bit. He's not going to have fast access, but he will have nuke. We don't have lock, which is a little annoying, but we do have levels. Actually, the great thing about this is that we're missing the trifecta. We're missing temper, we're missing fast, and we're missing everything else, which means it is right now on the table for us to be going black belt. Especially because we haven't promoted. But we're going to try this as, okay, I want to get those extra charges here. But we're going to go ahead and try it like this. Yeah, see, those are both promotion locked. I think you can learn fast. Yeah, there you go. So it's just nuke that's locked. So yeah, we're totally going to bring... Spellzap, you live! You're off the bench. You have no armor, but you're off the bench. Alright. Well, I think this is where the gold bracelet was anyway, so... Let's check that out real quick. It was not. Well, typically I'll make notes that say, this is where the gold bracelet is, and I didn't today, so... We'll see what we can get. I guess technically for now we can do... Oh, we can't even do that. Gross. Okay. Well, gold bracelet was one of my later checks. So we got Marsh Cave for Mirage. We got Cardia Double Bottom for Sea Shrine. Let's do Sea Shrine. Alright. So Spellzap is now only here for fast charges. So any levels he gets great, but any fiend that sneezes on him is going to kill him. But we are in go mode, I think. Yes, we have loot, we have key, we have access to all of our fiend dungeons. And we have this crappy encounter. This is one of the few encounters that are hardwired to be unrunnable in this game. So we'll see how common it is. So if this were a race setting, I totally would have written down where the gold bracelet was. We know the pro rings are in Provoca. I think the gold bracelet might be in the, not the Crescent Lake location, but whatever town is on-rack location. So actually Crescent Lake. But let's just see if we can close this out. Like I said, it sucks not having temper, but we have tons of cast for days. I'm only going to do a few greed checks from here on out. I could check the SVJ room down there. I know I'm the only person that calls it that, but that's what I'm calling it. So I think the lesson here is that other people would have run this faster, but we're running this together. Like I said, I'm not really concerned about my splits. I'm just concerned about finishing the run. Doing a showing that says, really, I think the lesson for how to handle entrance shuffle is that you kind of got to roll with whatever the seed gives you or what you get. So it does take a lot of flexibility. And flexibility is a learned skill. But you've also got to prioritize mapping everything. Might be a good idea to move the nuke helmet to Zap just because we do have two Fade casters. Accuracy before speed is very true. More specifically, accuracy is speed. Because if you know where everything is and you don't screw up like I did, just kind of mutzing around the world, you can be fast. You can be real fast. And it's the same rule that we'll go over next week for floor entrance shuffle, which is that you just have to be smart with your checks. You don't have to make the right check right away because everyone else is kind of smashing their head against the map just like you. You just have to make the correct check at the correct time. Alright, so it feels a little bad that we're not going to have access to all that delicious armor, but we do have good enough armor. Until it's not good enough. Could have gone for Brack strats. Brack has failed me so hard lately. I think the last race I did against Thunderclawed, I missed 13 Bracks over the course of the season. Yeah, don't tunnel vision is a very nice way of putting what I said in a way that makes a lot more sense. We have 3 Cure 4 charges. That is excellent for Temple of Fiends. Spell Zap dies in accordance with the prophecy. Cannot Cure 4 him back to life. I did say he has no armor. If anybody sneezes on him, he's toast. So what I'm going to be doing in fights is having him cast fast first, because we have no shortage of life charges. However, for PTSD for everyone else out there, we do have only 1 life caster. And it's poor Dengwu. There we go. Second Fiend down. Level 24, so we're doing quick clear of whatever's closer next. And I believe that is gonna be Earth. This is the other possible place for gold bracelets, and I think I did actually check the armor shop here, so... Alright, there it is. Spell Zap, what are you selling? You're selling the opal armor, because we don't need it. Gold bracelet, yes please. Oh, would help if I actually buy it. Yes, who will take it? Spell Zap. Look! We are, we're all shiny in our armor, like light warriors. Okay. So, did I mark that this was Earth Cave? I guess I did. I don't have a time managing my inventory to get those 9 houses out of the picture. But this is what happens when you don't turn in the ruby. Your best laid plans of managing your inventory for a Topher dive go out to hell. Okay, everything with a caster list. That's annoying. We know Hydras have fire, so we don't know what they have after that. Let's not find out. But yeah, the bosses in this are just 200% not clamped. So that was just a Kraken that had a near max health roll. And the goal for this is, if I'm going to ask myself what would Spell Zap do if he was here? Oh, well, first off, he wouldn't go north in this tunnel. What he would do right now is just get through everything as fast as possible and just assume that the best is going to happen in Temple of Fiends. Especially with 2 sources of Fade, a nuke. That's not a bad idea. I don't need to check anything else except for these stupid dudes. Of course, I can't run from them, but they can run from me. How cool is that? I'm not going to check the greed chest anymore either. Because those are 2 or 3 greed chests I would totally check. I'm not even going to check the trap treasure chest that's west of the vampire room. Because we have Mazimune, and that's all we really need. Get time savers. I'm not checking what Edge dubbed the Asher chest for some reason, which is over in that room. We will say hi to the mummies with stun stuff. Bats! So right now we have 1 ribbon, we have no wall. So this is going to make for a very exciting Topher dive. We do have a pro ring on our fighter. And we have light. We have to buckle that ribbon onto our white mage until the very end. Fade and sure, let's brack a vampire. 3256 chance, never hurt nobody. Okay, 2009. That was a okay year. In truth, it was the year that everything changed for me. So, and like I said, this is what Go mode looks like. There's not as much to talk about here. I will say always take the middle route for going around the bats. Just learn it, love it, because it's about a bunch of steps faster than taking any other route through here. Which is the other thing that Will Cleosis will yell at you about if you're ever racing and he's calling the race. And you don't want him to yell at you because he's way too nice about it. Alright, we're all running. It's all very good. We have cooperative bats today, relatively speaking. We're going to respect Lich by just killing him right away. Why am I even doing anything? It's a very good looking Lich, by the way. I love the spell. I love the color palette there. This is a fun % palette swap thing. So see, we're a little bit behind on our splits, but this is a slower seed. I definitely, if this were a race, I would definitely be losing it, but that's fine. If you want to take notes for what I'm doing in this, you can just say that there's a reason in the competition that this flag set is coming from that I have 9 points total, which is below where I expected, but I'm not surprised. I think the one thing I've learned running the first 2 weeks is that Monday is a really, really bad race day for me. And I don't know if that's just because work has sucked, or I'm just tired because there's a lot of extracurricular stuff after school for the kids, but my brain is just not there Monday. Alright, so that's Lefane. We can't buy items there. Okay, I know some of you all love Sky Castle. So let's get there as fast as possible. This time with the cube. So how do you deal with a seed that has a required war mech? You want to have a plan for war mech, and that's one reason I brought Spells That back up, is because that plan is to use fast. Especially when I didn't find Temper. And we'll check after this runs over where Temper was, because I don't think I missed it in a shop. I'm pretty sure it's level 8. The one downer is that I can't buy Lock 2. Which would mean a third trek to Onrak. Alright. This is some people I don't want to see later in the game. Because oh good, we got the run. Usually I don't get the run against them. So here's some green stars in the sky. Here's some OK men. I can never remember if they're bad men or evil men from the base game, but they're just always OK men to me because I have the silly names on. Which once again is not really the best thing for teaching. We do have a sentry, which is good enough experience. We just don't need the experience. And Shadow Wisher, I don't want you to be offended by this, but I kind of hope you get punched out so I can just cast Life 2 instead of using a bunch of heal pots. That's why I'm keeping the Red Mage down low. So these heirs, oh, they cooperated. Nice. And when you hear people joke and say that Life 2 is the best healing spell in the game, this is why. Because instead of having to do about 15 potions, we can just revive all at once. And those heirs hit hard, by the way. Oh, unrunnable fighters. Excellent. This is a really good set of experience. I'm never disappointed to see 2 fighters. I'm a little disappointed to see 1 because I know it could be 2. There we go. Spells App needs a little bit of that experience funneled. Level 25 is probably too high. I could have taken probably 2 less of those fights versus the golems in Northwest Castle, but we're here now. I just cast Fate on my party. That's nice. Let's play this safe. Spells App. Oh, look, we have a Earth Mech today. Alright, we're gonna hope Spring Eternal here. Fast! Fast is off! War Mech! Obliterate Spells Up, but not for as much as I expected. 10 hits and no temper. So, Fade Mech time. Okay, so we're getting some hits. That's good. We don't have ribbon on Ale Merkin. I probably should have moved the ribbon. Fortunately, with level 25, we have really good MDef. So this experience, I want El to get as much experience as he can. There we go, Warmech dead. And we got level 27 for these three, which is awesome. And we're just screwing up our party arrangement now. What in the world was that? More red hydras, so cool. I don't think that Warmech did any damage to me. That's weird. Alright. Let's go for the Brack strats. First try. Where was that against Thunderclawed a few days ago? Alright. And this is what I was saying before. I'm not too concerned about my splits, because we've been doing a lot of walking and talking and map checking while the timer's going, because I don't feel like dealing with my new hotkeys for pausing or not pausing. So Temple of Fiends was in Sarda's Cave. See, this is another habit where I'm just like, la la la, I forget where the hell I'm going. So who knew that this whole time Sarda was trying to summon chaos? I'm sure somebody knew. So all I'm doing now is clearing my inventory of houses. I hope you love the save music as much as I do. Alright, did I forget an orb? No. Have I done that before? Absolutely. So here's our great endgame track. Honestly, one of the better endgame tracks for any Nintendo game. It's serious, but it's understated. You have to hear it for a really long time. It's on a good loop. It hits the nostalgia feels for me a little bit true, but I think it actually holds up pretty well. So there's a Chimera. I used to think that it was just a lion head and some funky arms. I didn't think about it having 3 heads. Okay, do we have the loot? Yes. Do we have the key? Yes. Do we have really ugly roofing here? Yes. Reminds me of when I would do any sort of DOS or ASCII stuff with ZZT, which is an old game making thing by Tim Sweeney, who you probably know more from Epic Games, but that was what I used to do when I was younger, because that was free on AOL. So I'd make games with that, and there was a terrible brown-yellow combo that looks about like what the palette is here, as one of the DOS color schemes. So we're in a DOS Temple of Fiends. Oh, someone who knows what I'm talking about was ZZT. Who knew? Okay. Dude, you see my face? I am just one Wayback Machine in general. And I did not go by Asher in the ZZT days, so you won't find it there. Okay, now what was Dingwoo's advice? Put your life caster in the second row, so that way you don't have to be mad if your life caster gets killed. That seems like solid advice. We're disrespecting Lich, but to be honest, Lich is gonna get faded down anyway. Yeah, ironically, my screen name Asher actually comes from a old ZZT game. So that's how old that is. By the way, I did mention it before. This is where I got the encounter. This tile right here. I didn't think this was an encounter place where you can get one, but I've totally gotten one here. And I'm not sure why. It's only happened once. Alright, I think safety heal 3 is fine here. Carry, I probably could have moved my party over, but we are just going to start with the fast. Hey, Spellzap, hope you're doing good. So, okay, it's not just me. And we dodged the Bane! Before Spellzap could get the fast off. Okay. And Carrie is gonna be doing some annoying things. Oh, Death Touch Carrie! Okay, there we go. What did I say before? Life 2 is just the best healing spell anyway, so we got a ton of charges of it. There should be an attrition score for this. Yeah, Carry 2 doesn't mess around. It's like, I only need to hit you one time to kill you. So Elmerkin, Shadow Wisher, Dengwu, and Spellzap walk into a Temple of Fiends. Let's see what happens. This is the story of 4 strangers picked to live in a house and stop being polite and start getting death touched by Carrie. Alright. Oh, that's fine. Spellzap, you can do the front row thing, right? Alright. Be honest with you, I should probably be putting the nuke helm on you, but I'm not. Spellzap would just fade the crap out of this, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, yes, it's a dead Spellzap. You did your job. Now the question is our life caster gonna die too? Come on, big hit. That's not a big hit. Okay, we got a melee happy, so this is a problem. We have Cure 4. There we go. See, that's the aggressive play that you want to do in tournaments. Because sometimes you do just get through that fast. You have level 1 fade, might as well use it. Now, if I remember right, I got like a Ruse Axe or something weird that I should probably start using for some of these fights. Yeah, Ruse Hammer. Okay, did you like that party lineup before? Because we're doing it again. Okay, one day Spellzap will get a fast cast off. We are going to Invis 2 here. I have a hunch. We got fast off. We have no tempers. So we can afford to play a little more defensively. There is Tiamat going for our only life caster. Bert wrote something about that, or Blythe, or somebody did. Okay, swing, Cure 4 on yourself, and let's see if we can get the Quad X to go. There we go. Better to be lucky than to be good, or as I say for plenty of other people, the whole crux of Final Fantasy I Randomizer is to cultivate the luck that you get into solid runs. Because everybody's going to get good luck and bad luck, you just got to roll with the punches. And sometimes all offense is what you need to do in Clamp Seeds too, to be honest. If only because, yeah, and you have Cure 4, so we'll actually hold on to you there. Armor, not going to forget to move the ribbon this time. But the reason I say that is that sometimes the clamped bosses are so dangerous because they hit so hard that you just got to kill them as fast as you can. Alright, Invis 2. This is my only defensive round. So let's make it count. Yeah, LCB, thanks. It is a good chaos time, especially considering I didn't stop the timer to talk and teach a little bit. Like I said, my goal is 135, so I'm pretty much on track. This isn't a winning time or anything, but it is a good time, and I hope you all have enjoyed watching as well. Safety Cure 4, why not? Alright, so Ailmerkin's in nuke range. You should feel our little alarms go off, because we don't have temper. We just have nasty spells here, so we're just gonna... So the swinging plan looks like it's not going to be working very well today. Oh, but Chaos hits like a person that doesn't hit very hard. Alright. So since we know we have that going for us. 4 hits, 4 damage. No temper. He hits like a Mudgull. Well, I have gotten a few Invis 2 charges off. Damage poison? That's a little bit of a problem. Yeah, and the fun part is that I didn't even get, I did not, what's that spell I didn't pick up? I didn't pick up Lock 2, I didn't pick up Lock, I didn't even see Lock. We're going to look after this to see kind of what happens. So my goal is not to have Spellzap die, but I cursed myself there. So I should have moved the nuke helm to Ale. Now we just go all offense. I have not seen any nukes yet, so they're probably coming. We just hope for a low roll chaos, and there it is. Now, I'm very curious about how many chests I checked here. But I would say, rough estimate, that was like a 133. Thanks for the GG, LCB. And here is our tracker again for what it's worth. The floater we finally turned in. We never turned in the ruby. Loot was from the herb turn-in, which the herb turn-in was a little annoying because it was in the Onrak dungeon, which was in the Lefane spot, and Onrak had some really good magic that I couldn't get because I never found Tail. Yeah, well, Shadow Wisher, the 135 is more of a goal than an estimate, so I'm happy I hit both. Let's see. Congratulations, this story is happy end. Thank you. Oh my God. Okay, that's why they did that. So what happens when you read things out loud? So how many chests did I check? I checked 99. More than I'd like, but considering the 2 loose were late, that's fine. So let me go ahead while this is rolling around here. And I'm just going to go ahead and pop open Hackster, because there's some things that I want to check. Now, I will always, I'm a big fan of FF Hackster, not to use it before runs because that's bad form, but to use after just to make sure I didn't miss any details, or I'm not crazy, or to see how lucky I got on a run. And this is not the downloads folder. This is the downloads folder. You can't see what I'm doing right now. Alright, so shop editor first. Hackster says... Okay. And let me pull up chat just to make sure I can see it. Okay, I got some spoiler warning for you, LCB. You're probably crazy. Let's see here. So, Fade was level 1, Ruse level 2, but I never got to promote to use it. Life and Life 2 were white... Oh, I could have got... Oh, yeah, it's Melman's 4th slot. So those were white locked, which is why we changed Dingwu. We didn't... Okay, Wall was white learnable. I didn't pick it up. And Cure 4 was good. So it's the black magic that we got to worry about. Ice 3, good sweeper, but it didn't really do a lot because we did a lot of undead heavy dungeons early. Brack did some work. We never got nuke on Spells Up, but the helmet helped. Lock, I could have gotten. So if I gone back to Crescent Lake and actually picked up spells for Spells Up, I could have had Lock, and he had enough time to live and use it. Let's see here. Lit 3 Bane, and then Lefane Temper. Whew. I would have actually had a few Temper charges, but it didn't end up needing it. So let's look at the enemies just real quick. Let me make sure that you all can see this instead of watching me talk. Enemies. Thank you. Why is that there? Okay, well, we're just going to put the enemy window over here. I don't know what is up with my format today. So you're here, you're here. One of these turned into the game window for some reason. So, also be asking, do I like, say, Rainbow versus 2 Red Mages? Personally, I know I would be faster if I ran 2 Red Mages, but I like the safety of having 1 White Mage if I don't have Tavern mode, because I can either kill off the White Mage, or I'll make sure I have access to life and or exit. And possibly Cure 4. So I'm a bigger fan of the Rainbow, even though I will say, objectively playing a numbers game, double Red Mage Black is faster. So what enemies stood out to us today? Chaos was super weak. Had Cure 4! Ooh, we missed that one. Wow, we really dodged that one then. Tiamat buried nuclears that you barely used. Kraken 2 was literally Punch Kraken, so that's annoying. Kraken 1, look at how, oh, look, Kraken 1 and Kraken 2, both punchy. And then we know what Touch Carry has. On top of Bane, I dodged Crack, so that's fortunate. And Lich had all that. Did Warmac hold off on the nukes? Yes, so the nukes were buried today. So those extra levels, honestly, looking back, yeah, it's entirely possible that I did grind a little bit too long without the bonus in Ordeals. But those extra levels being above, just a touch above level 24, might have helped me push through the Tiamat and Kraken fights fast enough. Certainly not Chaos, because Chaos had high defense, high agility, and I had no temper. Yeah, Ale's saying we don't need any life or life 2. Like I said, you're going for fast, I'm going for safety. And one of the things I've learned, unfortunately, in tournament safeties is that if you bet on safety, you're kind of conceding the race. That's okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? If I had the bonus, I can check the tape and see. I don't think I checked ship, to be honest, until really late either. But yeah, here's our stuff. We never checked the starter box. But yeah, that's this will be going up on YouTube as well. So thanks for those of you who step in. Like I said, final thought here is that if you're concerned about entrance shuffle, town shuffle, other entrance shuffle, having a tracker is good, whether it's the online tracker, which is I'll put it in the description as well, but here's this. Or even doing it by hand. A lot of people I know have a notebook out. But the number one thing you can do is save on the overworld if you can and just try to efficiently check locations. You don't have to full dive dungeons as you find them. You can just come back to them later. Like I didn't immediately dive Earth Cave, even though I probably could have cleared it. And even though there was a loose item in Volcano, which is in the Earth Cave spot. But you just be patient. It's really good, especially if you're uncomfortable, to just map the overworld first and then decide from there. Know your incentive locations. Ice, Marsh, and Ordeals all had required progression this time, I think. But anyway, by the time I was diving them, I had well, I think one of them had TNT, which led to Mazamune. But you want to know where your incentive locations are. And once you have those on the map, especially when we get into next week when we talk about floor entrance shuffle, this time around, the Oxio was required to turn in the herb for the loot. And whatever the other one was that you can sometimes skip, the chime was not required because Matoya gave us the ribbon, but we got the chime really early from the store. And I mean, that ribbon probably saved our run just from not getting instant killed by that one spell that came out. So, like I said, knowing your map and knowing how to move around the overworld is just the start. Efficiently checking and efficiently playing your game takes practice, but there's no reason to fear entrance shuffle because at the end of the day, it's still Final Fantasy 1 randomizer. If you got your fundamentals down, you just got to get used to moving through the world. So, time for me to pick up my stupid phone and see all the things that are piled up here. Thanks for those of you all who joined me in here, and we'll do this again soon. So, you all have a good afternoon. Bye.